Hey, this is Jim Florentine, and you're listening to The Barn.
Hi, and welcome to the barn, live from the barn studio. You got the Mox and Dale here, and we're joined online right now with Mr. Jimmy Florentine. Jim, how are you?
I'm good, man. How you guys doing?
Doing really good. You're in town this weekend at the Funny Bone Westport in St. Louis, Missouri, November 21st, 22nd, 23rd, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Looking forward to having you in town.
It's one of my favorite clubs in the country. I've been coming here for, I don't know, probably, I think it's 20 years now.
Really, and that's one of the
Yeah.
favorites. Man.
How many times, if you had to guess, how many times would you say you've probably played the Funny Bone?
It's probably, I do it like once a year, so I'm thinking 20 times.
Wow, that's amazing.
18, maybe 18, 19, 20, somewhere around there.
That's great. I'm sad that it's taken me this long, but like I said, I will be seeing you Saturday, so I'm excited for it.
Oh, cool.
With your career spanning over 20 years, 20 over 25 years now, right? How have you seen comedy change during that time?
Well, it's good well, comics don't have to go the regular route of doing like a late night talk show or getting a comedy special on HBO or Comedy Central. They can build up their own audience and do it that way. They can go around the industry, which is great for comics.
Yeah, and recently you made a few appearances on the Kill Tony show, which that thing is just taken off, right? And sort of put stand-up comedy back on the spotlight again. I'd say it's one of the better times for stand-up comedy with everything that's going on with, and I think podcasting has a lot to do with it too. How do you feel the state of comedy is right now?
It's bigger than ever. More people, more comics are selling more tickets than ever before. It's crazy, that everybody could just find their own audience. And the Kill Tony guys are all doing great. The regulars on there. And what Tony's done with that show, I remember doing it at the Belly Room at the Comedy Store probably, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 years ago. There was like 14 people in the audience on a Monday night. And what it's become now. I went to one of the Madison Square Garden shows. He sold out 2 nights at the Madison Square Garden. It was just amazing to see.
That's incredible. 2 nights. I mean, one is incredible. 2 nights at Madison Square Garden, like unreal.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny that people that maybe don't follow comedy as closely, they think that's like a new thing, right? But he's been doing it for a long time, and people that really follow comedy understand that. How was your experience? Because a few of your clips sort of went viral, I guess. You're back and forth with some of the comedians. The experience was good for you, though, it sounds like.
It was great. A lot of that audience doesn't even know who I am, because they're younger and stuff. So it's a whole new audience for me, and it's great, and it's right up my alley, just, ripping on people and making fun and just busting balls. That's perfect. It's right. Perfect for me.
Yes.
And I would say that's nothing that's new to you. I mean, obviously you had a ton of legendary appearances on Opie and Anthony and Howard Stern and back in the early days of Sirius, and that's where my fandom of you really kind of grew from there. But also, we're metalheads here. We have a metal
Yes, let's
podcast
go.
called Vulgar Display of Podcast, and obviously the metal show, and you being a metalhead and really being an advocate for metal all these years.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and I do a show on Sirius and Ozzy's Boneyard once a week too. Where I play like classic hard rock and metal. All deep cuts and stuff because they let me pick up my own set list. So, I just go deep into all of Pantera and Old Sabbath and Maiden and stuff like that. So, no, I love it, man. I've been listening to metal since I was like 12 years old. My older brothers got me into it, and it's still love it. I got my kid into it, he's 14. He loves it too, so it's awesome.
Hell yes. I remember staying up late nights to be able to watch that metal show on VH1 Classic, and I was always curious what shirt you guys were going to rock because that's like huge in the metal world, and then what band was going to be on and like featured, and it was the best.
Yeah, I'd always had that was my wardrobe. They told us, you guys you dress like slobs. You're on TV. The producer used to tell us, yeah, well, I'm wearing my Accept shirt. Too bad.
Yeah, my black metal shirt.
Or there was a new band out there or a black metal shirt or something like that. A couple times though, like sometimes if I go to a show, let's say Sabbath or whatever, I'll buy a shirt inside at the venue, maybe two. I'm a big fan of AC/DC, and then I'll buy one in the parking lot, a bootleg one. It's $10 on the way out.
Where you have a $10 to $15 shirt compared to the $45 and $50 shirts inside.
Right, but I'll just go, you know what? I want to get another. This is a cool AC/DC shirt or Anthrax, whatever it is. I'll get this too. Why not? But I already bought it. So I forgot, but I would wear them on the show, the bootleg ones. I remember a couple bands got in touch, like, where'd you get that shirt? I'm like, I couldn't.
Oh, wow.
I bought it in the parking lot. I'm like, some fan sent it to me, and I put it on. I don't know where he got it from.
Printed it out in his basement, made it on his own design.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's misspellings on it.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
I 100% did that at a Tool show once because, Tool tickets and shirt, merch can be pretty expensive. So I'm in the parking lot buying a Tool shirt, and I get home and it's like there's something misspelled on
Like
it.
a TUOL.
Yeah, Tools or something.
Yeah, Tools. Yeah.
Yeah, the shirt's important in the metal world.
It is.
You're representing something. Dale's even got one on right now.
Yeah.
Is there any new metal, not new in you, but newer metal that you really like?
I'm not finding anything. I just saw Maiden recently, and they had this band, The Who, open, HU.
Oh, yeah.
Mongolia. They're like a Mongolian Slipknot. They were pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to ask the same thing about anything new because we're all like around the same era, growing up in metalheads for years and years and years. And because I stay in my lane, and people chat, and then we'll try and send me new music, and I'll listen, give it a try, and then I'm right back to my same playlist.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know, because sometimes, a band tries to sound like a Sabbath. There's only stoner bands. I'm just like, it's just not.
No.
It just doesn't even come close to Sabbath, so I just can't get into it. So, yeah, I have a tough time finding new bands, too.
That metal show ran close to 10 years, and you guys had the who's who on there.
Yes.
Lemmy, Phil, Axl, Slash, Dave Mustaine. Was there anybody that you ever wanted to have on that you didn't get the chance to have on?
We're trying to get Jimmy Page on from Led Zeppelin. But when he heard that the metal in the title, he didn't want to do it because, like, we're not heavy metal. We're like, well, it's not, we've had, hair metal bands on too. We had Heart on and stuff. So, and Paul Rogers from Bad Company. So, it's not all metal guys, but he didn't want to do it. That would have been great. And then also, who didn't do it? Ozzy didn't do the show, and David Lee Roth or Eddie Van Halen would have been great. One of the Van Halen brothers, but they never did it either.
Are you a Sammy or a Dave guy?
Dave, but I like Sammy too. I just saw the last tour with him doing the Van Halen stuff.
How avid are you going to shows? Like a handful a month? Like that's what we try and get in, at least 3 to 4 a month at least.
I do more in the summertime, like June from like August. I love going outdoor summer shows, at those sheds or whatever, those amphitheaters. So, but I probably go to about 15 a year.
Nice.
And I heard you. I think you might have talked about this on one of the podcasts where you actually did some dates on tour with Pantera and learned the hangover cure of maybe drinking the pickle juice or what's the baby water? I know what you're talking about. Gatorade makes it Pedialyte.
Pedialyte, yeah.
And those guys, especially during that time, they were the kings of drinking. Do you have any funny stories about those times with those guys?
Yeah, well, yeah, that was on the tour bus. That was in their rider that they would get a case of Pedialyte. So then at the end of the night, Dimebag were like, all right, listen, everyone's got to drink their Pedialyte. Let me make sure. It was almost like a little kid, make sure they swallow their vitamins. Because we don't need hangovers in the morning. We're going to start doing this again tomorrow. So everyone would just guzzle Pedialyte. And then Vinny graduated to pickle juice. Vinny Ball. Yeah. He was doing the pickle juice and stuff. But I drank with those guys a lot, and it was, I remember, like, if I go to see the band, I remember playing in Philly one night. This is when they were in Damage Plan. That's when I really got to know those guys, when they were on tour for that year or so. But I just knew if I was going to go see Dimebag, did not have any alcohol whatsoever until he gets off, until I see him backstage after the show, because he's going to make you pound drinks. Mm-hmm. So just have I load up at get some food. I get some hot dogs and hamburgers, and just be full so I could soak a bowl of booze. So I knew it was going to be a long night. And it's tough to keep up with them.
That's good that you knew, like, mentally, like, I legit have to prepare for this. Like, It's just not a couple cocktails at the bar with dinner. Like, it's going hard.
No, no, it's and you know, and if he feels like you're completely sober, you have to catch up to him.
Same level at all times.
Yeah, yeah.
Level. Yeah.
Yeah, new level.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I saw Pantera a ton of times back in the day, and I got to meet Vinnie, Paul, and Rex one time. And my Dimebag story is similar to so many that I've heard before. Is like Dime was exactly what you thought Dime was, at least from my experience. When I met him, he was as personable, life of the party, as cool can be. And that's how it came off in the vulgar videos, and that's how it came off in the interviews. And everybody, it seems like everybody's story about Dime when they meet him is pretty similar in that regard. Was that your experience as well?
Yeah, he always made sure everybody in the room was having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't ignore anybody. He just wanted to make sure everyone was having a good time, having a drink, telling funny stories, cranking music. He's playing air guitar. It was always like that. I remember one time I got invited to his birthday party at his house, and I was doing a comedy show in Dallas. I said, I'll get there probably around 9. And they're like, okay, no problem. I got there at like 8:45. He was already passed out. His own party. There was like 100 people in his house. He was already out cold.
Like, I don't want to get on that level.
The legendary stuff about Dime too is he would be ripping drunk and still rip a solo like it sounds on the record too, and definitely seen that in person a few times as well, that he could still play when he was wasted.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and he was a big prankster too. I remember we were up in Canada, and I was doing like a 5-minute set to open the show. So I went on tour with him for like a week, and there was some local Canadian band that was opening for Damage Plan, and he took the sign off, whatever the name was. He took the sign off their dressing room and put it on in the ladies' room upstairs in like the VIP area. So they thought that was their dressing room. So when they got there, Dime's like, hey, nice to meet you guys. Yeah, your dressing room's down there. This place is kind of small, and we need some extra space. So the band's in the ladies' room. And he went in and told them, hey, man, I'm just fucking with you guys, man. Come on out here. Here's your dressing room.
They're out there changing, tuning guitars. He's like, nah, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I think, too, talking about those old Stern days, weren't you the one that introduced Artie to Pantera?
Like 4 days before Dimebag got shot.
Oh, no kidding.
They did a local show in Jersey, and I was doing it with Art. I did a show like in Pennsylvania with Artie, and Dimebag's like, you got to come on. I want to meet Artie Lang. I said, all right, we'll go on the way home from the comedy show. We'll stop by the concert venue in Jersey. So we stopped by, did a shot with Dimebag, and that was, I think, 3 or 4 days later, everything went down.
Terrible.
Such a huge loss.
Yeah, man. Terrible, terrible.
Jimmy Florentine, Funny Bone, Westport, St. Louis, Missouri, November 21st, 22nd, 23rd, jimflorentine.com. New comedy special, Bite the Bullet at mycomedystore.com. Jim, thanks so much for your time today. Looking forward to the shows this weekend and looking forward to connecting when we get to the show.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Yes, thank you. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
Saturday. Thank you.